everybody. Welcome back to another episode of WTC's Fiberside Chat. I'm Jeff Sackrider, the Manhattan Market Manager. Today, for the third time, I have back with me Shawn Smith. Shawn, welcome.
You got it. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, it's the end of the year now, end of 2024, and just wanted to kind of touch base with everybody and catch them up with what we've accomplished in Manhattan so far and kind of what we're looking forward to. To recap, as a company, we've grown pretty significantly over the last couple of years. We've got a 750 square foot fiber footprint from Rossville to Manhattan now. We've got about 13,000 internet customers. Can you kind of talk to me about what we've done in Manhattan so far?
We had a good year of progress. I feel like we got, we're all but done up in Grandmere, which probably took a little bit longer than we were planning, but it was a pretty detailed area and we took care of that. Working on finishing up drops, and if anybody else wants to sign up, we'll get you hooked up. But we feel like it went really good. We were afraid with the amount of rock up there that it might be really rough, and the contractors did an excellent job. Our group included did an excellent job as well, still are. And then so got that all but knocked out, and have knocked out a bunch of other areas, and still are continuing to try to get some around the park. We're working on some off of Browning by the middle school. It's going really good over there, fast paced right now, and that's kind of where we're at.
You mentioned we've got Grandmere done, which is the area around Colbert Hills. We have what we call the Historic District done now, which is kind of anything from Points Avenue, from the park to Hy-Vee, all the way up north to Raton. That whole area is done. All of Blue Township, east of Manhattan, we have completed. I know we've got west of College. There's some neighborhoods there that are done. We've got a little bit of the Northview area done. So it's really, we're filling that map in pretty quickly. If I'm a homeowner and you're going to be building to me, what does that process look like?
The first part of the construction is obviously the engineering part, and then getting the main line in the ground.
And so where does that main line, is that in my yard?
Sure. It can be. So we place boxes or handholds out in the easement or in the road right of ways. We aren't doing it to make anybody angry. It's just kind of the way it lays out, and the best way the engineers see fit to make it all work. But they'll place that first, and then some of the crews do it differently. Some of them do the drops while they're there. Some of them come back and do the drops.
And a drop, that just means the line to the house?
Good point. Yeah, so the drop is actually the service from that box that's either out in your yard or in your neighbor's yard, out by the road, or it can be in a rear easement as well, but it is the service, how we get the service to your house. So that is generally the last part, and then we pull all the fiber, get it spliced, pull all the fiber through the duct, then get it spliced, and then hopefully are able to contact you to get a schedule to get you cut over to the fiber.
So you mentioned the first step is the main line, and I would argue the very first step is going to our website and signing up for service. So if you go to WTCKS.com, in 20 seconds or less, you can sign up for service. And so in Manhattan, we're going to put that main line, that line that goes past everybody's house.
Correct.
We're doing that everywhere in Manhattan. But we're not going to bring a line to everybody's house in Manhattan. We just do those to the people that have signed up. So the only way we can get to somebody's house is if they go to our website, sign up, and say that they want that line to the house. And
correct.
Before we do any work on a person's property, we're going to schedule a time. We're going to meet with the homeowner. We're going to find the best plan for their house, for their yard, agree to that, and then do the work. So we're not ever going to be on someone's private property without their signing up and knowing ahead of time what we're going to do. Is that generally true?
Yeah, it is generally true. So in some of the historic areas you were talking about, or some of the high rental property areas, we have talked to the property managers to go ahead and have them let us put the drop up to the house. There's definitely a lot of different scenarios. What you just explained is what we would like to do every time.
Sure.
Is be able to have a one-on-one with the customer, and then everybody agree on, hey, this is the best spot, and we can get into the house or the basement or utility room, whatever, with the least amount of disruption, and move on from there.
Yep. And so those rentals that you mentioned, that there's a lot of rentals in Manhattan, and we're working with property owners, we're working with management companies, and if we can get in there, we can get all that service installed ahead of time. That tenant that's renting the property then can do what we call Quick Connect. They can go to our website, they can choose the service that they want, they can sign up online, and within a day, and usually within minutes, that internet is going to just be turned on automatically. It's going to be working. So there's not any appointments where you have to wait from 9 to 5 for somebody to show up in some 2-week period from now. You can have your service working immediately when we can do all those steps ahead of time.
Yeah, it's pretty phenomenal what our whole group has put together in that facet of it, making all of it automated. The ease of it is unbelievable. If you go on our website, I'm sure you can see some testimonials of people like, how did you do that? They hit a QR code on our device that's already installed, like you said, and it takes you to the next step, and we don't even have to have any contact with you. It's all auto pay. You pretty much turn it on and forget it, and it works. So that's another plus, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. Another thing I really like about our residential internet now is that the Wi-Fi is included. So you just have a flat rate internet. Wi-Fi is just going to work everywhere in your home. We're the IT department, if you will, for that Wi-Fi to make sure that it works well. And if you ever have trouble, that's just inclusive for us to come over and fix it, do whatever necessary to get it working. So it's really, we've tried to make this just as simple as possible from the user to just have high-speed, reliable internet that works how a person needs it to work at their house. You got any plans for next year, for 2025?
So you had kind of explained some of the areas we might have half of the serving ring done and not the rest of it. So that is going to be a high priority to finish those, clean those areas up, which we've already done a bunch. As you mentioned earlier, what we call the historic area, pretty much from Fort Riley Boulevard to Raton or Pomeroy even. One of our big focuses then too will be up in Miller Ranch, or Miller Parkway. We're working on 2 of the bigger areas on the west side of that area right now, and then in 2025 we plan to get all the way to Setchild, finish up on Amherst, all the way over to K18. There is several other spots around town that some of them are contiguous with stuff we're already doing. Some of them are kind of on an island, just ones we chose. Maybe they had higher sign-up rates. And then also, we'll be working everything on the east side of Tuttle Creek Boulevard, from really the Dix Addition or Casement, all the way out to pretty much Rocky Ford.
What people call Northview, that whole neighborhood's going to be done.
Yeah, if you go to our website, you can kind of see what our goal is for 2025. I feel like we're really close to being on pace for 2024.
If you have a business in the town of Manhattan, you can get our service today. If you have homes in a large portion of the areas of Manhattan, you can get our service today. We've continued to get a lot of apartments and rental units hooked up to our service. We've also built out a pretty robust free public Wi-Fi network in Manhattan. So along Points and in Aggieville is available to have free outdoor public Wi-Fi. And then with our Adopt grant, we've got 124 locations that will have our free public Wi-Fi. We've got a lot of that project done in 24, and we should have all or most of it completed in 25. So it sounds like your crew has been quite busy, and 2025 is going to be more of the same.
I feel like we tried to plan it out well. There's always bumps in the road, but we feel like we're trying to manage those and solve problems and keep on rolling. Like you said, 124 locations. Some of them we've got knocked out. We'll keep working hard to finish those up.
You've got your plans for 2025, but 2026 is going to be right around the corner, so I'll have to have you back so we can talk about that. But
sure.
I think the most important thing I heard from you is if you live in a house in Manhattan, if it's a rental, if it's a home, whatever, and you want WTC service at any point in the future, what you need to do right now is go to our website, WTCKS.com, put your address in at the top of the website, and in 20 seconds you can be pre-signed up so that we know when we get to your neighborhood, we need to bring a line to your house, and you can get switched over to WTC Fiber as soon as possible.
You nailed it.
Great. Well, Shawn, thanks so much for giving me some of your time today and letting us know what's going on in the construction world. Thanks to all of you at home that are watching this episode of WTC's Fiberside Chat, and we'll see you next time.